apparently a woman owed some money or some shit like that. Being that illegal cannabis inside the store, let's go in the store. Lock the door. Lock the door.
Peace. Peace. What is the deal out there? We got physical I. It's W. I got some shit. YU, VC round, 703rd. Now it's 120. Right, understand it. FDJ Beats.
Boy, Jamal, you beat up that girl, Queen. You beat up Queen today and shit. In the front of the school and shit. She called the police as I'm coming in. You know what I mean? So the police ran up in. I had to deal with that shit. Slapped her up. I don't know exactly. You know, so you can't say he grabbed her.
Oh. So yeah, we're back in the pocket over here at the school. We can always tell. You know, it's a little bit volatile. Everybody needs to do the H1T1, hit the like button so we can get the rest of the people up in here. Did anybody do any more research on the stuff we was building on yesterday? Shakim and crypto. You know what's wild? That's why I was late today. I got some free crypto. I got some free crypto, and I was trying to figure out what it's about. Like the different kinds or whatever. L7. Still starting to get a few more people. Get a few more people friendly with it on this crew. I learned that I didn't really learn that lesson, but something that I've always known, was made crystal clear again yesterday after I got off the live. Oh, what time you was here? I was here. I just got here. Um, but in terms of yesterday, when I got off the live, one thing about the knowledge, right? In terms of how we, or at least for me, how I'm Son Lloyd, peace to the God. Thanks for that cash app right there. Much appreciated. I'll make sure to put in a word with Fuad and Elijah for you. But the way I always like to identify who I'm dealing with, you know what I'm saying, is because the knowledge goes beyond just a concept, just like a set of things that I learned, you know what I'm saying, or a group of people that I used to hang out with. You know what I'm saying? When the knowledge is something that you actually going to live out, when you actually looking at the duty of a civilized person. And so you like, okay, we got things we got to do. And when you got things that you got to do, you know what I'm saying? You got a duty that you got to uphold, right? The people who's amongst you become important now. Because first of all, are they supposed to play a role, and maybe they're not supposed to play a role, but are they supposed to play a role in whatever it is that must be done? Will they be playing a role that works opposite of what must be done. Do they know what that role is? Either way. See, these are sciences why we examine people. You know, what's this person's role right here that they playing? Like, are you the robber and I'm the victim? What's our roles here? Like, if all the world's a stage, then why are we right here in front of the same curtain? So this is why we examine people. And that's why it's important that, you know who you're dealing with, not just as a 5%, but in general, that you know who you're dealing with so you can be successful in your endeavors. See, if you go and you ask somebody to play a role that they're not prepared to play, then you're not going to be successful in that either. They can, it's not that they not, with being of assistance to you, but they just not qualified for that role. So see, this is why you always see it coming up. Who's a 5% and who's not a 5%. To see when it comes time to live things out, right? You got to know who's who. Because if you don't know who's who, remember that's the very first thing you deal with. You get your lessons. You get your supreme mathematics and your alphabet, and then you get who's who. Who's the original man? Who's the color man? Tell you a little bit about what they're about. So yesterday, I didn't end up saying nothing, but I ended up, I saw a guy, he had the universal flag, he had the universal flag up, as his avatar. But the things he was speaking, they wasn't things that you would recognize as large mathematics. So then the brother asked him, what that flag be about? What's that? What does that mean? And the way he responded, you could tell he wasn't a 5%. So just, at this point right now, you got to be aware. because some of it is based on how well we do our job. It's based on, how much teaching that all of us have done, all around the globe. That, other people see us, they see our success, they see how, members of our nation is very successful, in entertainment, whatever it may be. You got all kinds of people that have all kinds of history. Some of them, they came amongst us for 2 weeks. Then they look back at their life and they think out of all of the experiences they had, that 2 weeks was worth more than, all the rest of the time put together. So now all of a sudden, you want to go back to representing the 5%. So, all of them stories, that's, that's going to occur. You know what I'm saying? China's out there. There's going to be a bootleg. If you're successful at anything, there's going to be knockoffs, there's going to be imitators. And to a certain degree, let them do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Some people, listen, if that's the type of stuff you're falling for, what this person is talking, then maybe that's where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be with him. But for everybody else, right, who's thinking about doing a duty, in whatever form you in, you got to be aware, right? You got to be aware of, who is really this and who's using this as a shield. But whatever their religion is, it don't even have to be nothing dirty that you're doing, but you're still using this as a shield. So that's something, in terms of, I don't know if that's ever going to stop, if people ever going to stop complaining about that. If people ever going to stop complaining about the fact that the 5% examines intensely. Because that's the first thing. We got to determine who's who, man. You God is the devil. Or you the planet Earth. But I will tell you that, we can never stop examining. See, because what happens, I'm gonna tell you another thing. What happens, see, you find yourself getting caught up with these people. And see, the reason why I say you got caught up is because, see, you thought the person was a 5%. You took it on face value that the person was a 5% because they had a crown on, or they had a flag on, or they were standing in front of a large school. You didn't really look at the qualifications of the person. So that's what a lot of people don't understand when, a person gets upset, they get offended because, you meet somebody new and they put you under examination. You're supposed to be putting them under examination as well. But a person becomes what? They become used to people taking them on face value and taking people on face value who say they 5%. See, in all these different instances, you know what I'm saying? Anybody who been dealing with the 5% for a period of time, they can tell you about multiple different situations that they've dealt with, right? That, having the knowledge saved their lives. From them knowing how to maneuver and control and manipulate in certain situations, right? Where they realize that, see, if I was unaware, I would have did the dumb move that time. Whether it was something that happened, physically that you avoided or something that happened strategically. But you having the knowledge and knowing the order of things being born alive instead of being born dead, you put things in the proper order. And so now that was supposed to go improper, it wasn't allowed to happen. So you get caught up with these people, right? That you take on face value that they 5%, right? And then what happens is you start doing things with them. Whether you aiding them or they aiding you, right? You start doing things with them. And then all of a sudden, like I was just saying, see, something happens where you need to use your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to save your life. But this person right here, right? Now's the time, right? Here's when you find out that this person is not really 5%. He don't really have the knowledge and wisdom to born and understanding, right? To save his life. And see now, by that association of you associating with him, right? Taking him on face value without putting him under that examination. See, because it work in everyday life. Like now, some people that's like, yo, I'm not even going to the store with you. Because I already know how you get down. As soon as we go in there, you're going to start stealing, son. Or if I do go in the store with you, I already know what time it is. Like, let me stay right here where the man can see me and know that I wasn't being involved with what you was doing. See, that's the difference between if you know who that person is, if you don't know who that person is, then you walking around and he using you for a cover. You the distraction, as he's taking you around different places because you ain't examining. So a person, you know, they teach what they want to teach. You see, you don't want to be caught up in a situation where it's like, all right, now it's time to teach a lot of mathematics, and you caught up with this person. See, yesterday, that was the first time I was exposed to the person, you know, so I did the knowledge. But that's what I observed that, all right, yeah, now that it's time to, say something about large mathematics, you're not qualified to do that. And that's on the everyday level of activation, man. That's why you gotta know who's who, regardless, 5, 10, 85, positive, negative, tall, short, skinny, big, whatever the case may be. Don't let none of these people, don't let none of these people, perpetrate that this is what they dealing with. Who's this? A grand living concierge? Same guy, Universal 7. Right, so Universal 7 say he ran into a Muslim guy at the barber shop without flag on, pressed him about it, and he wasn't right exact. I mean, that's what ends up happening. And see, I'm gonna tell you something. Another thing about that is that uh uh you know, people being able to do that in part, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to let people off the hook for doing what they was doing, but for me, always looking for the solution. One thing you got to realize is that people even having the ability to do that is because the lack of activity. You understand what I'm saying? Meaning, like, a person, if you're gonna say you from LA, right? And you're gonna fake like you a blood, you probably not gonna do that on Paru Street. You know what I'm saying? That you might go down in Beverly Hills or some place where people don't really know. You understand what I mean? But you're not gonna go to the heart of where it's like, dude, it's not about me examining you. It's that we all know each other over here. Like as soon as I see you, I know you're not from over here. That's because of how active they are on that block. Like right now, if you came out with a shirt on, right, that had the golden arches on it, not the golden arcs, because I know y'all all just got finished watching Coming to America Part 2. I didn't get a chance to see it yet, but I know y'all already saw it. We're not talking about the golden arcs right now. We're talking about the golden arches. If you came out with a shirt that had the golden arches on it, right, people gonna ask you if you work for McDonald's, because that's how active McDonald's is with that's their flag. That's how active they are with their logo, where no mistake can be made. See, somebody from Burger King can look at that and see, oh yeah, that's McDonald's right there. And so it's the same thing with the universal flag. If dudes is able to go around there, right, and fake being 5%, that's because the 5% is not active enough over there where, I mean, it's like that. There's places like that where, when you go over there, right, and you can start, a person who don't really know the science of mathematics, he might even start building with the 85%. And the 85% is just look at him like, yo, this dude don't know what he's talking about. Like I be around the brothers, man. This don't sound like what the brothers be. Those brothers, they be talking about, they be asking everybody if they went to school today and if they did their homework. This brother here, this stuff he's talking about, that don't sound like you guys. But that's a level of activity. You know what I'm saying? Just like when you look at on the political level, don't get me wrong, they put out propaganda while you alive. But see, after you gone, after you're not active out there and the people start, the time has passed and people no longer recall what was the actual facts of what you did. See, now they can come and put all types of propaganda out there about what you was about. So see, to some degree, well, not to some degree, that's the science. When people see that, when people see, all right, yo, you know what? If you rock that, those brothers is gonna approach you about that. They're gonna ask you what's the science of that. They're gonna ask you if you know the foundation of that, and the people that lived and the people that, return. Just so that could exist. Like, see, when I got the knowledge, right? People in your family and friends used to warn you against getting the knowledge. Because it didn't matter if you was a 5% or not. You knew that, yo, those 5%ers, you gotta know that whatever they be talking about, you gotta know that stuff. Because of how active everybody was, being outside at that time. Now we in a different day and time. I ain't saying, just go stand on the corner and just be spewing supreme mathematics all day long. But I'm saying on whatever level, you know, um, that's the real solution. And we don't got time, as the 5%, as parents and spouses and business owners, whatever it is you do in your life. Right? We don't got time to be searching down every person that's crazy out here. We don't got the time. We're gonna Google everybody that say they Muslim guys. See, by the time we take all the energy to do that, right? We could just be active with this flag, right? We could be, active with what we say we about, to a degree that everybody knows. It's like right now, if a dude with black hair came up to you and said he was Donald Trump, I'm talking about before he was the president. There's certain things, like if a dude 5'3" walks up to you and tells you, "Yeah, I'm Shaquille O'Neal." So you automatically gonna know that's foolish because Shaq is who he is. He's active as who he is. He did something to the fullest. He took his potential and something to the fullest to where everybody could bear witness to it. So that's it. Another point. True self, powerful love. Dr. Vinci, Jarrell Boylan, Igloo, The God I Be, Igloo said, they say the gods are in the belly of the beast, in fact. What do you mean by that? Yes, son, God, true indeed. You know, don't let the 85 put the 8 in front of your 5 as 5%. That's the last thing you want to happen. But what's this science right here? Igloo said, they say the gods are in the belly of the beast. When you say the belly of the beast, what do you mean? You still here, Hiku? I guess the guy came in and went out real fast. All right, here you go. Every time we get to speaking on knowledge of self, they seem to believe God's in the belly of the beast, like as if it's not where I should be getting knowledge from. Natural Jewel just came in. I mean, so you say like when you having a discussion with other people that's not 5%, they say the guys is in the belly of the beast. As what's the belly of the beast? FDJB said we are the poor righteous teachers who do not believe in the teachings of the 10%, who are all wise and know who the true and living God is, and teach that the living God is the Son of Man, supreme being, black boy, supreme being, but I'm sure it'll come through in a minute. Black man of Asia. Because at the end of the day, Egu, the 5% is everywhere. You know what I'm saying? The one thing I can say, and this I guess may be kind of childish, but see, one thing, see, if you tell me the kind of experience you had with the 5%, right? For the most part, I could tell you about you. See, if all of the guys that you know, right, is in the belly of the beast, then you must have spent a lot of time in the belly of the beast. You know what I'm saying? Depending upon which 5% is the individual know, they don't even know it's a different kind. When I say a different kind, I don't mean, a different kind of 5%. I'm talking about a different way that different 5% express themselves. So, depending upon the different cycles you go in, you go in some cycles and people be shocked, like, yo, you a 5%? Hey, get out of here, man. I thought all of them was, hey, nah, man. Or different things, you may you mention that different 5% have accomplished over time. So, it's, all worlds from the highest to the lowest. So perhaps those, particular 5% they knew either was in the belly of the beast or was in the belly of the beast at one time. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of people's ways and actions, the things that people do is they qualifications, for who they are, and for what they're going to do. So do we look at that? Yeah, but at the same time, where else should the 5% be except, not to say except like that's the only place, but I'm saying, if they don't need the knowledge of themselves in the belly of the beast, then I can tell you where, so yes, it's brothers in the belly of the beast. Brothers who is still, I guess you could say, struggling with the civilization and the righteousness part. You know what I'm saying? And then you got brothers who is just, coming to the experience of having the knowledge of self when they get into the belly of the beast. So yeah, that's pretty much everywhere you go. You know what I'm saying? You could go in government offices. You know what I'm saying? You see some 5% there. You know what I'm saying? You could go to Penn State, you could go to the state Penn and you see 5% there. You know what I'm saying? High society places, all the way down to the gutter, you see the 5%. When I say different 5%, I don't mean the different family trees. I mean, which that, that does have an impact. I just mean different individuals who are 5%. You know what I'm saying? They have unique ways of expressing the principles of life. You know what I'm saying? So, you got some brothers that is very scholarly. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a brother who, is the principal, he's the principal of his school. You know what I'm saying? And then you got other brothers that they warriors. Like that's what they do. They warriors. So they have a little bit different way that they express themselves. Now, say if a person, the only experiences that they've had is with the brother who's a principal, and the other 5% is that he brings them around who, they know who the people that they bring around, so they treat them accordingly. And then they somewhere one day and, they see a 5%. Now, he could be defending himself, he could be defending his family, but you didn't see the first thing that happened. Or you saw was the act of defense, right? And you like, wow, that guy's a 5%. That guy, you got people like that the people that they've been around, that do this that say they 5%, they express themselves a certain way. But in every world, in every single world, you know what I'm saying? Trust me, there's somebody in there that's a 5%. You know what I mean? To to a certain degree, right? That's kind of how I see y'all. Like, the different people that be from different places, the brothers from Poland, uh, the brother that he's on Infinite just put him on the Law School of Mega channel. He's in Hong Kong. You know what I'm saying? Brothers in, these places, you have Seattle and Portland and all these places. That's where it be. It'd be places where it's like, yo, get out of here. It's 5% over there. But yeah, no matter where you go, no matter what, how it looks, there's somebody there. It's at the level now where it's no matter what language that they speaking. Jarrell Boylan said, I had a professor who had worked in the prisons when discussing different beliefs. He took one look at me and said the 5% was a gang. He was a colored man. It had me heated, but in retrospect, I realized the nature of the devil that day. I mean, yeah, that's a great example, of an individual who's had a very limited experience with the 5%. You know what I'm saying? He sees the limited aspect of right then, right there, and just having the limited mindset, right? Where, like if your training is being a CO, right, in prison, you don't have a different way, like if you look through the prison manual, right, there's nothing in there that says, okay, you see a group of young brothers accumulated, they could be teaching. There's nothing in their manual that says that. See, their manual says if you see a group of young brothers accumulated, they're a security threat. You can translate that gang, whatever, but that's kind of what's going on in society where, there's not really another image out there. What's going on? Had some shootings in Georgia. Born perfection. So Malik Lowe said, I've learned that there's a difference between the 5% and the large 5%. So what is the difference between the 5% and the large 5%? King Me said a lot of seen and heard everywhere. Rome J. But what is what's the difference between the 5% and the large 5%? Parmesan asked, did you see the victory videos? I saw them up there. I didn't get a chance to watch them yet. Kendall Rowland. What was there something in particular on the videos from Avik? District 120. Everybody make sure we're doing the each one teach one and hit the like button on the way in or on the way out. You still there, Malik Lowe? Malik Lowe said the 5% I've encountered were Muslim and didn't know supreme mathematics. This must be a new thing. The video with a lot talking, you talking about on the news. I mean, to me, yeah, it wasn't all that much. You know, he was talking about, you know, the certain. I mean, it's one of the things where I guess, you know, for me, it's like, yeah, you know, I mean, I knew he existed. You know what I mean? Like, if you show me a video of Jesus Christ, you know, Jesus Christ doing an interview in 2,000 years ago, yeah, then or even right now. But you know, with Allah, you know, I knew he existed. I know he exists. You know, I didn't, you know, but it is one of them, I guess, you know, things that just confirm things. You know what I mean? In terms of just the history, you know what I'm saying? A lot of other people got, you know, more uh, independently documented things. You know, you give something that's independently documented, but and he wasn't dropping no signs, basically. But you know, definitely was peace. They said they looking for the rest of it. Calm Islam, he said he was talking about Yoruba spirituality. Some brothers was accusing him of spookism. Well, what was he talking about? Yoruba spirituality. You know, like I said, with a lot of these things, uh, you know, it's once everything becomes disconnected. You know, like I said, it could be supreme mathematics. It doesn't, you know, you know, the spookism is your mindset. You know, everything just is. You know, like I said, you know, the rain, you know, that's a reality, that's a characteristic of the planet Earth. But if you have that spookism for your mindset, right, then that comes from a mystery guy that no one will be able to seize until he dies. You know what I'm saying? If you got a scientific mindset, then you look for the fine mints that you're not detecting. So, it depends on what he says, but, once the meaning of these rituals, like we defined it yesterday, a rite is, anything in an event, a ceremony, whatever is happening that has a meaning, an activity that has a meaning is a rite, right being the root word of ritual, I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And, at the end of the day, that's what, uh, once you get to the level of, you're practicing these strange rituals, out of context with the meaning. Like you're supposed to be doing this this dance that we do before we go into war. We do this dance where we move in unison. You understand what I mean? So that when we get out there on the battlefield, you know what I mean, we've been moving as one unit. We put ourselves in the mindset of what we're going to do. So this is our warrior dance. You know what I'm saying? We warm up the muscles so that when we get out there to the battlefield, we ready. You see, once it becomes disconnected with you talking about, well, this is the dance that we doing, now we're gonna do this dance to protect us against the bullets. We're gonna do this dance, and then the bullets ain't gonna be able to they ain't gonna be able to penetrate us, penetrate our skin. And a lot of times, that is where you can see, like if you just looking at it from the outside in, you don't want to go all the way in. Look at how much they promising. Like if a person tell you they got this ritual or this practice right here, like look, I can do this thing right here, and then your head is going to spin around 40 times, float off your body, go to another planet, download all this information, and then come back and land right back on your neck by in the morning, and you're gonna have all the knowledge. Like if a person tells you, look, I got a special kind of alkaline water that does that. Then I mean you could be fairly sure that they, this is charlatanism. So when I don't know all that much about Yoruba, you know what I'm saying? But he's gotta be more specific. So Malik Lowe said they didn't deal with supreme mathematics. Or these 5% said they didn't deal with mathematics. To be exact, they were in the mosque upstate at the time. They were still on the final call. Well, yeah, see, that's what started happening. You know what I mean? And shout out to the brothers, the NOI brothers, but you know, we elevated the name of the 5% to the point now where, other people want to come in that name now. But all the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful. So, now I see what you're saying. In terms of when you go by the letter of the degree. Well, I think I can explain what you're saying. See, those, when you go by the letter of the degree, when you go by today's degree in the 140, right? It also refers to Muslims and Muslim sons. You understand what I'm saying? But see, it also refers to what you do not believe and what you teach. And see, everybody, that's a Muslim or a Muslim son doesn't, they don't coincide with that part. See, when you get to the part where it says also civilized people, all right, so amongst them, right, who's dealing with the knowledge God degree and the knowledge build degree? Is the Muslim sons dealing with the knowledge build degree? Is the Muslims making clear that the true and living God is the supreme being, black man in Beijing? Or when they say Allah, right, are they talking about who came in the person of the half original man? That's just, I'm adding that on just for points of clarity. But getting back to what I was saying in terms of, from us being out there, right? And you know, I don't know everybody who's a Muslim. So I don't want to make one blanket statement, but we're up there at the top of practitioners of Elijah's teaching. And so, from us being the ones that I mean, in a lot of ways, in terms of even when, Farrakhan came to do whatever he do to resurrect the NOI, right? Uh, there was a lot of 5% that, brothers from right here that went to be a part of that. That's how they got the lessons back in all of it. just in terms of the impact that we had on music, and then the impact that music has on just mainstream popular culture right now. So now a lot of people, everybody builds now. Any conversation you have with anybody who's supposed to be at, any kind of conscious level, they always building now. Everybody's dealing with the knowledge and wisdom, you know. I mean, that's probably how they refer to themselves now. But and when there was a time when the only people that wanted to be the 5% was the 5%. So that's why you see all these people now, they want to wear our flag, they want to refer to themselves as the 5%, they want to refer to themselves as the God of this and the God of that. Again, a lot of that comes down to that's just how, that's how well we did our job. But you wasn't hearing that. You wasn't hearing nobody else say they was the 5% except us. You wasn't hearing at that time when I was coming into the knowledge, supreme mathematics was known amongst the other communities as the method that we use to twist things to mean what we want them to mean. That's how supreme mathematics was spoken of, by the other nations, the other original nations that was in and around New York City at that time. But I do understand what you're saying, where sometimes, when an individual, when the way he expresses himself to me, he seems a little bit confused. I ask him, when, he may be referring to himself as the 5%. And so I ask him, are you a large 5%? And for most people, they say, yeah, I'm a large 5%. And then what I ask them is, okay, but you talking about the Allah that has a mosque on 6th Avenue? Or you talking about the Allah that has a school on 7th Avenue? And then at that point, you separate, you separate the men from the boys right there. So I understand what you're saying, that, sometimes, somebody could be confused, by how many people refer to themselves as the 5% now. These are like known and accepted quantities and qualities now that wasn't, see, now everybody's woke. So if you got certain people that's woke, you got to have a category for people that's not woke. And you got to have a category for the people who's doing whatever the people is woke to. So what I'm saying is the 10%, the 5%, the 85% is a little more, it's a mainstream concept. I'm saying that denied, it wasn't, for me, it's, just the march of time. It's the march of time. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure as time goes on, we're going to see some more changes, but I you know, as an individual, you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that, you know, if you ask the administration of New York City, I'm talking about if you go to the mayor's office and you ask them if they know about the 5%, they're not gonna tell you about the Muslims. They're not gonna tell you about the Muslim gods. Go to the Board of Education and ask them who's the 5%. They're not gonna point you to the Muslims. But see, you say you was upstate. Ask the CEOs, ask the wardens, who's the 5%. They're not gonna point you to the Muslims. So that's one thing right there. That's understandable. But in terms of, you know, look, I don't recall, you know what I'm saying? And I never heard about any other people who live openly and notoriously as the 5%, except us. Jarrell Boylan said, our victory was saying the colored man was the one who made it spooky to give it a negative connotation in order to keep folks from practicing. Um, you know, that's possible, you know, but it don't matter, you know, of course, white man's come with Christianity. Like we already know that there's going to be a certain amount of spookification. Spookification is how we say of everything that he dealt with. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, um, ancient times is just another time. Like when you put the ancient times on the scale, right? It don't necessarily weigh more than the present time or than the future time. So just because it's something that was being practiced before the colored man came, you know what I'm saying? That don't necessarily mean that it was right. So no matter, no matter what it is, it still has to be examined according to the principles of mathematics that we're dealing with right now. Got love in the building. Malik Rose said, I said, you're in the Nation of Islam. And he said, yes. I said, we're God. And they said it, hey, we're following the minister, and Fard was the only God. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. You know, that's not uh the teaching in the degree. That's not at all what it says in the degree of who is the 5%. That's what I meant when I said that. I didn't really want to make it look like they're insincere or uh, doing some type of shirk for seeing reality the way they see it. But I'm just saying that, if people want to get into the letter of the law, right? If you want to get into the letter of the degree, does the degree say Muslim and Muslim saint? Yeah, well, it also says what you don't believe in and who you teach that the black man is, and who you teach that the true and living God is. So, there's things that people can get over on some people. You can't get that over on. See, they can walk around and tell other people, it will says in a degree right there. It says that. Yeah, all right. What about that part? Shamalik Glow said, that's what you meant when you said there's a five in our five. I mean, I get what you mean, but I'm just saying that those people, at this point, uh, they just people like, listen, man, you know, uh, you know, uh, a lot of these, how the young boys say, you know, a lot of these cats, they just start jacking that. They just now start jacking that. It wasn't. Yeah, 793rd. Yeah, we had a good bill. You hear everybody saying that. You go up and down the channel list on YouTube and you hear, yo, yeah, we had a good bill. So, like I said, and see, that's why when I started off the way I started off too. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna make that point again. Is that these things is about identifying who's who so you can be successful in your building. Because we can't, it's really no way, you can't have it both ways. So you can't be teaching the world, right? And then trying to hold the world back from having the knowledge too at the same time. So if we out there teaching the world, people is going to hear, people is going to hear the word, but they hear all different degrees of the word. When you talking about in the beginning was the word, right? Now look, here's the thing about the word, right? We all know the game. We all know the game called telephone. When you tell a person the word, and the person tell the person the word, and the person tell the person the word, the person tell the person the word, and then by the time it gets back around the circle, right, it's never the same word that it started off with. So see, now you see just another reason why the 5% practice things the way we practice them. We're just saying that some people, they hear the word, right? But they didn't hear the original word. That's how it is. Like right now, you get on the internet and you get exposed, you hear the word, but you heard what's the word for that? It's not a translation, but you heard the distorted word. And so in those situations, all we can do is teach. But in the end, we just need to know who these people are. So see, like for instance, once you knew that, okay, them cats over there, let's say they 5%, they really Muslim, right? All right. So if I'm teaching a brother, I'm not going to tell him to go build with them. I'm going to tell them, yo, listen, anytime you building with them, you know what I'm saying? Make sure, you keep in mind your supreme mathematics. You understand what I'm saying? And what your mindset is, don't get caught up with them. Don't take what they say on face value. See, now you know who that is, because in terms of getting everybody to stop saying whatever they listen, they can say what they want to say. But see, nobody wants the bootleg once the real McCoy comes through. So that's what ends up happening. Right, yeah. Using God, the term God, this is just slang now. You know what I'm saying? This is just something that people say is kind of just a figure of speech. But it's as much as it might frustrate you, certain times, you got to look at the cause of that, is that, we were successful enough in our teachings to make, this knowledge and phrases that we use in this knowledge to make them, household words. King Me said, I asked West Coast Cam who he was praying to, and he said, Master Father Muhammad. Yeah, see, I mean, that's, and that recently came up in the group, uh, in terms of who they praying to, like I said, now look, that's a good example of something that, it depends on the meaning. Like I said, you're dealing with these rituals, now here's the thing, what I'm saying on face value, right? Him saying that is way less ridiculous than people saying, they praying to Jesus, or, they praying to Shiva, or it's way less ridiculous than that. You're praying to Zeus, at least there's an individual that, you can prove, at least to some degree, there's a lot of things about him that you can't prove, but at least to some degree, if you're a good Muslim, if you're a righteous Muslim, you're, um, you know, living the benefits, you know what I'm saying, of being a righteous Muslim, then you would have to say that, Fuad brought you some level of salvation. And if you're talking about, uh, having a focus, on those teachings, you know, which I suppose now I'm being loose with the definition of prayer, but if by praying, you mean, you refer back to and meditate upon the teachings of Fard, right? To provide you the answers and solutions to the different things that's going on in your life. If that's the meaning to the ritual that you're doing, then that's one thing. You know, but in terms of if you're talking about you're gonna close your eyes and talk to Father, you know, first of all, I'm the only one that has a direct line to Father. That's how I'm able to get you on to the mothership when you hit the cash out. So that's first things first. So that's like I said, for me, at least what I've learned so far, you know what I'm saying, and me dealing with the science of everything in life is that the religion, the spookism and all of that is in the person. It's the person's mindset. Like anything can happen. Like we could be sitting in this room right now, right? And somebody could open the door to the outside, but we didn't know they opened the door. And then we felt a draft. A draft came in under the door. Maybe a paper blew. Now, see, if we got that type of spooky mindset, then we'll all be there talking about how we bear witness that we all saw a ghost or we all experienced something supernatural. But it wasn't nothing in the draft. It wasn't nothing about the draft that was spooky. It wasn't nothing about what happened. That's all in the person. Just like a scientific mind. Like you can see it in babies. You know how you ever see like some babies, right? Like they could be playing with something and then you could take it away, right? And put it somewhere and it's like they forget they was playing with that. And then some babies, if you take that thing away, it's like they know, like, nah, that ain't just disappear. That's not, it don't work like that. And they keep looking for it until they either find it or pass out. Yeah, and then apparently they got some clarification on that recently, King Lee, though, with the I don't know, it's one of them things, where you can't have it both ways. Uh, you know, you just can't have it both ways. Thomas Norman says there's a reason why in the poor part of planet Earth is in there as opposed to the 14th and the 15th degrees. District 120 said this brother in the 5% group of Facebook said he was going to take his life. And a voice clear as day told him it was not his time yet, allegedly, and he now believes it's a higher force above his head. I mean, well, and don't get me wrong, shout out to the brother, peace to the brother, man. I hope whatever he's dealing with, he's able to come up with a solution for that, and also, in terms of people needing help with their mental health, you know what I'm saying, is a serious matter. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people dealing with that. And I'm not trying to make fun of that or belittle that, but sometimes you gotta realize that this stuff is associated together. You know what I'm saying? Meaning like, okay, you already was suicidal. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I don't know a situation. I'm so sure it's certain things that can happen that at least in the short term, something happened to one of your children or something. You might have that type of emotion temporarily, like you want to kill yourself. I don't know what was going on, but generally speaking, uh, you know, if he's already suicidal, then him hearing voices, right? And then coming to, that kind of conclusion about what that voice is, you got to realize all that goes together. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that you doing it, but, sometimes that gets done in society where, you know, uh, these things get looked at kind of in an isolated fashion. You know what I'm saying? But to me, that's unfortunately that is my assessment. Of that situation is that you can't really judge it on the same level of us being able to come to clear understanding. You know what I'm saying? Like if his understanding was clear, you know what I'm saying? He more than likely would not have come to the conclusion that he wanted to kill himself. You know what I'm saying? You know, if he came to the conclusion that he wants to kill himself, right? He's probably been hearing voices the entire time. But he just came to, you know, this conclusion now about what those voices represent. Priest Mussolini, peace to the God, Supreme Divine. So yeah, that's you know, and unfortunately, I think that's the situation with that. We got any other questions? We got any other questions out there? Start winding down. You know, I need like 30 minutes to wind down with y'all, cause I need like 30 minutes to wind down with y'all. Priest Mussolini, we're from Philly. Leak low. Nah, you didn't cause no confusion by bringing that up. You know, if anything, you brought you know, more clarity into the conversation, because that's exactly what I'm you know, like I said, it's just a matter of, you know, of knowing who and what you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, look, you know, if you're running a race, you want to know if you're running the 400 meters or if you're running the 400 meters with hurdles. Either way, you know, you could do it, but the strategy that you're going to use, the knowledge of you knowing that, okay, these hurdles is here, I'm going to have to get over them. You know, not that the hurdles is there, so now I can't run the race. But you know, you want to know who and what it is that you're dealing with, so you can be successful. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you go in the store, you know what I'm saying? No matter who's behind the counter, you're gonna get what you get. It just might be a difference in how you deal with the person. All right, from Baltimore. All right, now I know what you're talking about. I just saw a Ride. That's what made me think about Philly. You know, and you know, you got to be aware of them too, because you know a lot of them is trying to use your magnetic. You know, at the end of the day, that's, you know, that's what some of it comes down to too. So you got some people that they call themselves the 5%, right? In order to get everybody that's interested in this knowledge. So now, just the same way you may have just been getting knowledge or whatever, and then you heard about this live stream and then you start tuning in. What if somebody else stepped up and said, hey, look, I'm the 5%. You can come over here and get that knowledge. So you just got to be aware of that. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of, stopping people, you know what I'm saying? Or, really just spending any time on it. Like, of course, right now we're spending time talking about it. So, but I'm talking about spending your time like, we have to, chase the last Muslim down, the last Muslim guy down to the corners of the earth, where it's got to be like Highlander or something, where that's against the Muslim guys. You know what I'm saying? That's not how we take that devil's head. Like I said, the way we take that devil's head is by being so active with our flag, right? And teaching what it is that we teach, that anybody can look and see, like, nah, that's not the real thing. If a person could go somewhere with the counterfeit, right? That's most likely because the people never really experienced it. They never really experienced the real thing. See, like right now, if a person come up to you with all this Buddhist robes on, right? They doing, the prayers or whatever, you know, you see them, they doing all the incense, the candles, and then instead of Buddha, they say Jehovah. You have to see that. Supreme Man, I got the what's the names you sent me? I didn't get a chance to do the knowledge to them yet. But Supreme Man, today mostly I was talking about the importance of identifying who you're dealing with from the jump. You know what I mean? As is one of the first lessons that we get when we get the lessons, the first thing we learn is who's who. Who's the original man, who's the colored man. A little bit about them. But just in terms of in our endeavors and everything that we're doing, how, knowing who a person is important in us being successful in what we're dealing with. Not necessarily to say, we're going to get in, any type of competition or confrontation with the person, but I know who you are now. You know what I'm saying? So, you might be at your job or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And you might have a supervisor that, he's a cool dude, you might got another supervisor that's not so cool of a dude. You know what I'm saying? You're going to go there and do your shift and get your check and handle what you got to handle either way, right? But you know how to activate. You know what I'm saying? And I was saying that, that was just an example, but it was coming from in terms of, I saw an individual, he was using our flag as his avatar. You know what I'm saying? But then what he was saying, was like, all right, none of this pertains to a lot of mathematics. And then I seen a brother ask him, about something dealing with a lot of mathematics, and just, just not even his answer, the answer as well, but just his demeanor of being asked to build on a lot of mathematics. You could tell he wasn't 5%. You know what I'm saying? And so, we was just going into the science of how, a lot of that, just dealing with the solution, not necessarily dealing with who's to blame or what's the cause, but just dealing with the solution, that a lot of that is because of the level of activity or inactivity that we haven't, as a nation ourselves. You see what I'm saying? Meaning that if somebody is so active being the real deal of who they are in whatever time and whatever place, then other people, when they see the fake, they're going to know that it's something fake. You know what I'm saying? Or they're going to, like I said, if right now, if you walk outside with a shirt that has the golden arcs on it, I mean, the golden arches, my bad. See, I got caught up in, because, you got coming to America, but we're not talking about the golden arcs right now. We're talking about the golden arches. You see, even that was a good example. See, you came out with the golden arcs instead of the golden arches, but everybody still knew that was McDonald's that you copying, son. If you walk outside with a shirt with the golden arches on it, people going to ask you, you work for McDonald's? Because of how active they are with their flag. You understand what I'm saying? And that is just a much more useful and beneficial use of your time, right? Than to say you're hunting all these people down. It's easier to just make knowledge born. You see what I'm saying? Because once the truth is revealed, right? Once the truth is revealed, the lie is also revealed. Born perfection. Actually, I gotta call you. I gotta call you on the science for that. That's actually sounding a little bit crazy. That's actually a little something. That's a little bit crazy, born perfection. but I'm gonna hit you up on that. Jakeem. Supreme Master knowledge of self is knowing self and others. Awareness of your surroundings is essential to surviving in the wilderness of North America. Knowledge to born is the constant cycle of the aware. Yeah, so it's just also explaining, the importance of knowing who these people are, because it's all fine and good as long as we just talking. What I mean by that is like, if we just speaking conceptually and things of that nature, that's one level. But see, when it comes time where it's actually time for you to build something, that's when it becomes important to know who it is that you're dealing with. See, because, if we working on something, right, and we building on something, right, and, you got a religious mindset, then we might come to a point where we need a solution and you feel like prayer is what we need right here. Whereas coming from my mindset, I'm gonna be looking for the, actual knowledge and wisdom that needs to be applied right here in order for us to come to the clearest possible picture of the best part. So now it's not that we can't do something, you know, but see, I know now that you have this religious mindset. So now I know how to see, I know what season it is when I'm around you. I know when the mist had to be drawn up, and I know when it has to come down as drops of water, when it has to come down as drops of ice, when it has to come down in the light, fluffy form. But I'm not going to get caught up with people by not examining them, right? And knowing who they are, right? And what current the air we in when I'm around this person. You know, but we had this has been a good session right here. This week we're gonna stay busy. Um, right now I gotta go. I'm about to go check my crypto. They about to give me some more free stuff. Uh, I need to speak to the brother so he can come on and give us some pointers. You know, so far I got like tips. People tell me, yo, this right here. And then I look around and I see, what is kind of the other information out there. But I don't know how to I don't know how to read the tea leaves for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to look at it and say, all right, yeah, this is a good one right here. You know what I mean? You know, or, nah, that one right there is junk. Or sometimes you see people going back and forth. Oh yeah, Supreme Man got coming soon with you. Um, um, I got some things because I've been on my phone recently. I've been on my phone doing the lives even. I gotta take my computer to the Apple store. Hopefully the Apple store is open. Uh, but once I take my computer back, then I need like one more wire back, and then I have my setup will be back in effect. But I gotta replace the battery. The battery don't charge on my computer. Like I could use it as long as the plug is in, but when the plug is out, the battery don't work. So I gotta get that done. Yeah, Born Perfection was on here a minute ago. Black Coda. We didn't get what's the name on here either, did we? That's what I meant to do. We'll handle all that tomorrow. Tomorrow everything will be a little bit should be a little bit looser. I gotta go get some type of like YouTube starter kit or something. Do they have it? Has anyone heard of that? I need like a YouTube starter kit. Law will manifest just came in. Yeah, you get it from B&H, right? Oh yeah, I saw the story that you sent me. God save your mind. Um, I didn't get a chance to comment back though, but yeah, Don Bishop has sent me a story about a brother he knew. They got convicted for killing a cop, and then after 30 years, they recently found out that he was innocent. So that's a little bit crazy, you know. Uh, when a situation like that happens, and what kind of you know, dude was he? Because I noticed you were saying that nobody in the hood knew. So was he somebody that it was like, when it happened, it was like, nah, that's unlike that person? Or was he somebody that would have happened, everybody was like, yeah, I knew it was like, you know. That's how it be. That's what ends up happening. You know, is that we have such a negative image sometimes, you know, even of our own people, that you know, we don't really give it, you know, the benefit without the doubt. 793rd, the program for the older Macs with swelling batteries. I mean, mine is kind of old. It's not that old. I think mine is I think 2017. But you know, you don't really have to worry until they stop servicing. Like once you can't download the new, once you can't download the new operating system, that's when you in trouble. Even though I got myself in some trouble downloading a new operating system, and then it made some of my other programs uh, not compatible. Another question too, Don Bishop, how did he end up, like what ended up happening that he got acquitted? So Don Bishop said he wasn't about that life, but we believed it on face value because he was scared and we thought he just black. Nobody in the hood thought he was innocent. Hmm. See, just goes to show you. Just goes to show you, man. Why you can't take stuff on face value. So everybody thought that he panicked and shot the cop. I mean, I guess so, you know. Yeah, that's pretty nuts though, man. But uh once again, you know, everybody that made it this far, do the each one, teach one, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the notification button. You know, although the notifications don't go out like they're supposed to, still hit the notification button. You know, share the video on your other pages, your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, text messages, etc. You know, comment in the comment section if you got any questions for the next video. And I will be getting back to y'all tomorrow. In the meantime, and in between time, I'm going to say peace.